What's up, y'all? Today we're gonna chop it up. Oh snap! We're gonna talk about the EQ. So I'm gonna use a vocal. So let me go ahead and actually mute these sounds here. I'm gonna hide these tracks because I'm not gonna be using them. Go to the loops library. Yeah, we're gonna throw that in there. So boom, we got our sound loaded up. I'll go ahead and load up a couple of those instances. We'll loop it out.
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón.
And again, the way I just did that is selecting the first clip and hitting Command R. It's basically Command C and Command V in one step. So go ahead and save a whole lot of time going that route. You're gonna thank me later, I promise. And if you need my shortcut guide that I use, like I got my top 12 shortcuts that I use on all my tracks. That's in the description. So go ahead, tap into that. And yeah, let's go ahead and chop it up on this EQ. So let's pull out the EQ, click in the EQ box down here. And we'll see here as we hit play, our frequencies that's prevalent is gonna show.
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita
So
que
you
me
can see
quita
the
mi bombón.
frequencies
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi
from
bombón.
the lowest of the
Para mi
low
mamita
end
que
to
me
the
quita
highest
mi
of the
bombón.
highs, right? And let me also mention that the range of human hearing is from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So if you ever pull up an EQ and you see these numbers lined up like this and you don't really know what that mean, that's pretty much what that is. Like the range of human hearing, like the frequencies we're able to hear as humans is from 20 hertz all the way up to 20,000. And looking down here, the number at the top of these different sections, that's the actual frequency that is being affected. That second number underneath is the octave or the decibels. So the volume and how loud that frequency is at that point. And then the last number underneath on the bottom is the actual Q or the bandwidth. So that's how much of the range of the frequencies is being affected. So if we turn up the Q or the bandwidth, you'll see it's inversely proportional. So the range of frequencies that will be affecting actually gets skinnier versus the lower we go, the more frequencies are affected within that range. So if I actually pull this up, you'll see the smaller the number, the wider the range of frequencies that will be affected, versus if I go up, the bigger the Q or the bigger the bandwidth, the smaller the section being affected. So if you ever was looking at those numbers and didn't know what that was, that's what that is. And then on the side, you see you have your gain of the actual frequency. So it goes from negative 24 decibels all the way up to positive 24 decibels in loudness. So again, I did want to choose a vocal so you can see how the frequencies of the vocals appear and can be affected. And then I'll probably pull up like another drum so you can see like the difference in the frequency ranges and so on and so forth. And just so you are aware, different instruments lie within different ranges of this frequency spectrum. So for the most part, your vocals will resonate within the mid to high mid range. Your drums and bass would be over here in the low to low mids, right? And then like your higher pitched airy sounds, so like your flutes and other like lighter instruments or higher pitches lie within the high frequencies. So I come from like the DJing background prior to producing. So if you're a DJ or have ever DJed and you've seen the three knobs, the ones that say high, mid, and low, this is pretty much the production equivalent to you maneuvering with those knobs, right? So if you grab that high knob and you turned it to the left, you would be turning down the decibels of the frequencies in that high range. And vice versa. If you grab that knob, then turned it to the right, you'll be turning up the decibels of the frequencies in that high range. Same thing with the mids. If you grab that middle knob and you turn it to the left, you'll be turning down the middle frequencies, and vice versa. If you put it up, you'll be increasing the frequencies in the middle range, kind of increasing like the boxiness. And then same thing for the lows. So if you grab that low knob and you turned it down, you'll be turning down the decibels of the frequencies in the low range, and vice versa. If you turned it up, you'll be increasing like the boominess of the frequencies. All right. So again, with the vocal sound that we have, you see the presence is mainly within the middle to the high middle range. So when producing, like, you'll be layering a bunch of tracks on each other, right? And what you want to do is kind of carve out different spaces of frequencies so each sound blends well when put all together, right? So for the vocal, again, as mentioned, most of the frequencies lie within that middle to the high middle range. So the frequencies over here in that low range, like your heavier, bassy kind of tones, like for the vocal sound, we can go ahead and actually remove those frequencies, because when we add a drum, we don't want extra frequencies clashing with the drum space, right? We want the drum space to kind of fill in perfectly and hit well, while the vocals also play with ease. So I'll go here. I'm gonna pull up a drum sound, but I kind of just want to show y'all what I mean. So playing, if I take away the lower frequencies, you'll see that the voice actually gets lighter, right? It gets thinner, right? So you don't want to go too far off to where you can't even hear it, but it's okay to remove like the extra thickness of frequencies that we might not be using, right? So let me actually go ahead and load up a drum sound. We'll go instrument, we'll go all drums. I do like, oh snap, my bad. I do like that first hit. So let's say I go ahead, I'll chop off what I don't need. I'm gonna go ahead and create like a quick little pattern. Oh snap. Oh snap. Create a quick little pattern. All right. So now I'm gonna pull up an EQ for the drum so you can see what's happening with the drum, and I'm gonna actually mute the vocals. So now we got the drum sound. So this drum actually has like a little cymbal hitting at the end of it, so you'll see like the cymbal sound, the frequencies from the cymbals actually popping out over here on the higher end. But for the most part, our drum is hitting in that low to low mid section. So these are the frequencies that we want to focus on. Personally, I don't really want that little cymbal sound. So what I'll do is actually remove the high frequencies, and you'll see now we got more of just that drum thump. Right? So again, we removed the high frequencies from the drum, but we also got the drum layered with the vocals. So, okay, I'm gonna move the drum sound to the right. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. So we got the drum sound to the right. I'm gonna turn on our vocals again. I'm gonna pull up the EQ of our vocals and put that on the left side. Shrink that down a little bit so we can see what's going on. Make this a little bigger. All right, so boom. So again, the title of whatever you're working on will pop up at the top. So you'll see the Cuban timbre voice. This is track number 26 right here. And then you have Trading Places beat. That's the drum sound down here. All right. So this EQ here is affecting the top layer. This EQ here is affecting the bottom drum layer. So once again, we carved out the low frequencies from the vocal, meaning that the frequencies from the drum here will have more clearance to pop through the song, versus if we didn't carve it out, then these frequencies would be clashing with each other. Not crazy, probably, but why not clean it up to have a much better sound, right? So if I play both sounds without the EQs on, this is what we got.
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón.
So it don't sound terrible, but if I engage both EQs with the frequencies carved out respectively,
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón.
you can hear the difference. You can hear that the drum is more of that prevalent drum thump, and the vocals itself, depending on how your ear is trained thus far, you'll be able to kind of hear how we made it a bit lighter to lay on top of the drum cleanly. All right. So again, I'm gonna do a sweep of the EQ. I'm gonna get rid of the voice right now. So let's focus on the drum real quick, because I just want to show y'all like what the EQ does. And again, if you come from the DJing background, think of your high, your mid, and your low knobs. And I'm gonna show y'all what we affecting. So for the drum, if we grabbed that, let's see, let's turn the EQ on. And so again, I got my low cut filter, and these are like the different the shapes, the filtering shapes. So you got your low cut, your high shelf, your low shelves, your bands, right? So if we take away the high, you know what, let's take away the low frequencies from the drum, because I want y'all to see that again. So if we take away the low frequencies from the drum, it makes our drum sound lighter. And again, this drum kick had the cymbal playing in the back, so that's all you're gonna be hearing. But there's no thump, because we took away all the lower, heavy, bassy, thumpy sounds, right? Took away those frequencies. And vice versa, if we remove the high frequencies, now we got more of that thickness to the drum. More of that thump, that bass, you feel me? So your drums, you kind of want to be in that 250 and under range when EQing it out. Each sound does have its own range, so it's all up to taste. And again, when it comes to the drum specifically, I do like to remove like a little bit of the lowest of the frequencies, because we're not too much affected by it. But when it comes to like the speakers that you use, you don't want to be busting your speakers open. So it's nice to roll off some of that low end. But again, we still got the main thump that we need. And you can always kind of turn up the decibels of the range of the thump that you want to kind of put up or whatever, right? And then I'm gonna go to the vocal. I'm gonna do the same thing, right? So I'll pull it up. So if we remove, I'm gonna go backwards. So let's say we remove the high frequencies from the vocal. Now we're gonna get more of that muffled, that deep, wavy type of, just that muffled sound, right? My bad. Let me I'm gonna mute the drum.
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me.
So it sounds like it's underwater. You feel me? And again, depending on how far you go, you'll actually drown out all of the vocal sound, being that you got rid of all the frequencies that the vocal had passing through.
mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me
All
quita mi
right.
bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón.
So again, if you come from the DJing world, this is equivalent to your low pass filter, all right? Your LPF. So that's the knob. If you took this and went to the left, this is the sound you getting.
Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón. Para mi mamita que me quita mi bombón.
All right.
Para mi mamita que me
And then same thing, vice versa. If you took your HPF or your high pass filter, you're passing all the higher frequencies. You're allowing all the high frequencies to pass through.